Hello, everybody. My name is Roy McGeeters.
Video Game Cinematics.
I'm Dio. Hello.
And Sonic Forces releases tomorrow. Hooray!
By the time this will be uploaded, it'll be today because editing. But you know,
pretty much, yeah. We are less than 12 hours from getting our hands on the new
Oh, you are
Sonic
anyway.
team developed
we're
Sonic
real
games.
close.
So what?
We're real close.
Yep, like less than 12 hours. So we're gonna go through our impressions before playing the game, and then we're gonna go over our impressions playing the game immediately after.
Yep. So
So basically, where should we start? We already discussed what we thought on the initial reveal and everything, and that video is the first video we ever posted on this channel, and its audio is shit and everything. So don't watch that video. Let's go over what we thought about the game so far. So when I first saw Sonic Forces, I originally thought that it was just going to be, Generations, just with original levels. That's all. It's a good game. But then, as we got to see more and more footage and more of what the game was going to be about, especially with Mania releasing prior to Sonic Forces, my opinion of the game has lowered. But I still think that quality-wise, the game will be fine.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think I ever thought it was gonna be straight up Generations 2. But
I did.
It was.
Yeah, I did.
It was definitely like revealing the game with classic Sonic really didn't help that.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like they should have revealed it with the Avatar first.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, the Avatar coming after was a really weird decision, but whatever. But then again, it would have been even weirder revealing the Avatar in like 4 months down the line. Also, classic Sonic Sin 2. Like, wait, what?
It's fine though. That initial reveal trailer where like they barely showed like the silhouette. Plenty of Bubsy memes, so we're fine.
And now Bubsy came back, and that was a piece of shit too. So
Not
Omen Forces.
bad.
But anyway, I guess we can go through. Let's start. What should we start with? Should we start with the level design, the control, what we think the story's going to be like, the music?
Well, let's do story, music, and graphics because that's the only part that I can really contribute on because I haven't actually played the game.
Actually, no, that's good. Let's start with the graphics of Sonic Forces first. I'm just going to go off straight on the bat and say that for a game released in 2017, Unleashed still looks better.
Yeah.
You know what I think they did? You know what I think it is? Why it's like that? Because, Hedgehog engine, beautiful looking, but runs like shit. I feel like because this is the first game they're doing with the Hedgehog engine too, which is partially
Which is a really lazy name for the engine, but whatever.
It is kind of lazy, but other companies do that, so it's whatever. But because, and we'll get back to like control and stuff later, but I do think because it's Hedgehog engine, like it's their own proprietary engine again, I think that's part of why it can be a little janky at times. But I think the main thing they did was tone the visuals down enough so that it would run fine. It still looks pretty
I
good.
can agree with you on that.
Yeah,
because
it's still
the game runs magnificently on the PlayStation 4.
But then that's not necessarily fair to say though because Colors looks like shit in comparison. Colors looks like shit. Period.
It was a Wii game.
Exactly.
That looks amazing.
Colors look really good.
Right, but my point is that Unleashed came out on the 360 and looked great. Then you had 06, which looked like but we already know the reason behind that. I don't care if it's on the Wii. Kingdom Hearts 2 looks better than fucking Colors on Wii.
Well, to be fair, they were both big budget AAA games.
Yeah, but like, I think Forces looks really nice. For what we've seen,
I would agree that Forces
nice.
looks nice. Nothing spectacular, but still,
it's not gonna blow your mind, but it looks good and runs well.
My whole point is, why do I care what it looks like? Because I'm not gonna see what's on the left or right of me when I'm going a million miles a fucking hour.
Yeah, but people complain. Graphics matter for some reason.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I agree.
Can I just say that I really like the grass in Green Hill, but that's really it.
Oh, I also want to say, for what it's worth, having watched gameplay of like PS4 version compared to like Switch, aside from the frame rate, that is basically the only difference between Switch and console.
I haven't heard anything on Xbox. I'll have to look that up.
There are slight texture and lighting differences,
But it's
you'll barely
barely a
notice.
difference. Basically,
Yeah.
you are playing the exact same game, just at 30 frames per second. And since Sonic has been 30 for a long time, that doesn't really matter. It's insane. I love it.
I'm gonna look up how.
Yeah, and I remember, Austin, me and you were talking about how I'm gonna have Sonic Forces on my PS4, but I won't be able to take it to work with me.
Yeah, I'll
just
pick
have
it
to
up.
go to school and then
Yeah.
pick it up for 3 hours, then go to work.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
get
like,
to
"Wait a
pick it
minute,
up
you're
during
gonna
my
be
half-hour break.
God damn it.
Yeah, I get to pick it up during my half-hour break, and as I'm walking back, put it in the Switch and start playing.
Yeah, well, how about this? You're gonna be playing a boss, right? Your half hour's gonna only have 3 minutes left in it. You're not gonna be able to beat the boss because you keep dying because you suck. That's what's gonna happen. And then you're gonna have to go through the rest of your shift just thinking, oh shit, what's gonna happen to that boss? What's gonna happen to that boss?
I mean, I'm not that bad.
I just hope that.
But-
Mega Man 6, I rest my case.
But also, the Switch, you can pause, put the thing in sleep mode. 6 hours later, pick it back up like you never stopped playing.
I still want to see how it runs on Xbox. I imagine just as good as
it's
PS4.
probably gonna be the
Yeah,
same.
just as good as PS4.
But this is like the
And I
first.
doubt that the PS4
Also-
Pro or Xbox One will have that much
Difference.
enhancement to it. Yeah.
Also,
Originally, I thought that it was gonna run 30 on the regular model and 60 on the Pro, and I was like, oh god.
something else that's actually really interesting to note about Forces on Switch. Forces, I think, is the game with. I mean, I'm not certain, but I'm not certain about development time considering how long, the Switch has been behind the scenes that we didn't know about it. But as far as we know, Sonic Forces is the earliest third-party game to start development for Switch.
Yeah.
Because they revealed it when it was still just NX,
Yes, they did.
which is crazy.
It's crazy that a Sonic game was announced for a Nintendo system before a Mario game.
It is crazy, yeah.
That's how far we've come.
But anyway, since we talked about the graphics, now let's talk about the what we think the story's gonna be like.
All right.
It's gonna be fucking
I have to
retarded.
shut up. I have to
Alright.
shut up.
Alright, well, I get to go first then, because I have high hopes for it. I was talking with Austin, and he didn't confirm or deny, but we both agreed that this game, in all but name, is essentially Adventure 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of adventure vibes.
You have the bigger scale. We had the build-up of chaos with Adventure 1. We had Station Square getting destroyed, the constant turmoil. I mean, Eggman tries to nuke the fucking city. Like, straight up throws a fucking nuke at the city. Like, the stakes are extremely present to you in the adventure games. Like, think about it. When is the Death Egg ever mentioned in Sonic 2? Ever. Besides getting there and in the instruction manual. Never. Never fucking explained
Sonic
to you.
3 does a better job of building up
Right.
the Death Egg.
But still, to an extent, it's like, oh, it's back. Like, if you didn't have the game manual, I mean, that's just the nature of 2D games, but,
Yeah.
with Adventure 1, they definitely had more emphasis on story. Adventure 2, they definitely had, Gerald through beyond the grave trying to commit human-wide genocide by slamming the Ark into the fucking Earth. Plus the Bio-Lizard, and we later, I mean, if you want to count Shadow the Hedgehog, we have that. I mean, Heroes basically, in all but story, is just a 2D title. It's very simple, with one quote-unquote plot twist. And then with 06 really, I mean, again, we can, make fun of 06 all you want, but you gotta give it credit for trying to really push story. Like, they really,
Yeah.
they did a bad job at it, but they really wanted to push the story aspect, and because 06 failed, they did everything in their power to not be like 06, which is, in my opinion, what killed Sonic. I mean, listen, you can say how great the writing is for Colors. I get so sick of Sonic in Colors after so long. I get it, writers. You want him to be funny. I fucking get it. It's not funny anymore. And the problem was they never went over that because they kept that funny 2D, kid-friendly. I mean, it could be kid-friendly. I'm not talking Shadow the Hedgehog dark, but there's like no sense of like when the entire station explodes at the end of Colors. I don't feel like I do it when the Ark's exploding. Like I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But then you get the idea with then the whole happy-go-lucky feel translates over into Lost World, but Lost World tries to be darker, but still keep the funny attitude. The whole Eggman's line of fucking ripping out a whatever heart, whatever the line is with the Yeti. As long as
my hands are, yeah.
As long as my hand is still able to
No.
strangle a Zeti, they're
No,
fine.
it's as long as I can still strangle a Zeti, my hands are fine.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's like beyond Shadow the Hedgehog levels of edgy, because it comes out of fucking nowhere. Like if they kicked him out of his base, but like Eggman doesn't have this like hatred towards them. Like just out of nowhere, he's just like I fucking hate him. And not to mention that's what he wants to happen anyway by the end. It doesn't matter.
I don't think it's that out of nowhere, since Eggman was a bit of a darker character in Lost World to begin with anyway.
Okay, well what about RoboTails?
Yeah,
RoboTails is just fucking stupid.
yeah.
Right, it comes out of nowhere and it tries to be edgy for no fucking reason. Like, it tries to be, like edgy's the wrong word. Edgy's overused. I don't mind with Sonic or any video game that's a kid game is dark. Like, I think Adventure 2 is as dark as you can go for Sonic.
Right, yeah, I agree with you in saying that Adventure 2 is probably the best balance between the lighthearted stuff and the darker
'Cause, like,
tone stuff.
'cause-
I also, you know
go
what?
ahead.
I'm gonna give Lost World a bit of credit here. I think it does it okay as well.
Right, I'll agree.
For the
Yeah,
most
mostly
part,
because, like, you know, with all the dark stuff that's happening, for the most part, it's still a pretty tame game. This isn't Batman the
think-
Animated Series or
I think part of why Lost World gets away with it is because the dark stuff is almost always a background thing.
yeah, it
Aside
takes the
from that, like,
backseat,
one scene, usually half the, like, edgy lines that you hear are things that Zeddy yell at you while you're in the middle of gameplay and probably you're ignoring them anyway. But also, it still will play a lot of those darker lines comedically.
Right, but I agree that's okay. Excuse me, but my problem is like, do you remember that in Lost World, the Earth was getting its life drained? I forgot about that, because they
Yeah.
never fucking mention it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Adventure 2, it's like, oh shit, Eggman has a giant space gun pointing at the fucking Earth. You know what I mean? Like, the constant threat of something bad happening. And Forces goes back to that. My problem is I hope they do something like Adventure 2. I don't mind the world being taken over. I don't mind this resistance effort. Sonic can do dark, Sonic can't do edgy. And as of right now, from what we've seen for promotional material, because I haven't been leaked, I've been leaked one thing, and apparently according to Austin I'm wrong about it, so thank God.
Alright.
But, well, I saw thumbnails of videos. It wasn't really core-code leak, but whatever. So I hope that it somewhat strikes a balance between Adventure 2, where you can be dark, you can have the world be taken over, you can have Eggman be the as of now, winner. Just, if it goes anywhere darker than Adventure 2, then yeah, no, I think that's where it draws the line. Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna disagree with you for a little bit on Lost World again. I think that Lost World is funny. I think it's good at its humor.
And I had no problem with its humor. You can keep going on, it's fine. But my problem wasn't the humor. My problem was they try to shove it down your throat. Like in Colors, every single time you do anything in a cutscene, Sonic cracks a one-liner. And you can say that's his character, but there's a point where I don't like his character anymore. He's fucking annoying.
Yeah, they dropped the whole, like, attitude thing and more so just went for, like, kind of
Look at it.
sarcastic.
Really?
Asshole.
No, like an
Well, in a sense, being a narcissistic asshole does sort of involve having attitude.
Well, yeah, it's just a different type of attitude than he had during the Adventure era.
Like if you look at Adventure 1 and Adventure 2, his attitude is drastically different than, say,
Yeah.
06. 06 is his most serious incarnation.
I mean, I do kind of...
Yeah, but 06 is the most blandest incarnation, too.
I didn't say it was good.
I would kind of disagree a bit, because I actually do. I mean, they play it a little too much, but Sonic's character, as he is right now, I do find it be great, so long as
Yeah.
you're not constantly shoving it in your face. Like,
Yeah,
there's
I
some
have-
legitimately hilarious lines from
My
recent Sonic.
theory is that they got Shun Nakamura to write the general like gist of the story, and then they got Pontac and Graft to write the script, which is what they did for both Generations and Colors as
I
well.
didn't see that.
My question is, are these two? Because Shun Nakamura was more like Adventure 2, like dark, edgy, and everything, and then Pontac and Graft was like all colors, lighthearted, and everything.
Maybe
Is
they
the
might-
scenario and the script going to clash too much?
I can see that being a problem, but like the way we
Granted, we could just ask Austin right now because he just knows all the fucking answers.
I'll say
I do
this.
have the answer to that question in particular.
My problem with I think I said this again that this is I said it before. This is essentially Adventure 3 all in but name, and I wouldn't mind that again. But my problem is that I don't like Colors and Generations writing. I understand that seems like blasphemy, but my point still stands that I don't mind Sonic being a cocky asshole. I mean, he's always been. But if you look at like Adventure 2, you know, when he's running next to the president's car and all this other shit when he's on Earth, you know, he's just happy-go-lucky asshole like he is in Colors. But like one of my favorite scenes from Sonic history is when he somehow out of Sonic Adventure 2 story bullshit, he pulls off Chaos Control and admits to Knuckles, "Oh shit, I didn't think I was gonna make that," and he has an actual serious moment. Besides those things, I don't think Sonic really had a serious moment besides when Tails turns into RoboTails for 2 seconds. And even then it's, "No! Tails!" and then that's it.
Well, the thing is, from what I've heard, the game starts out with Sonic getting defeated by Infinite. So, I guess there's your serious moment. Sonic dies again. Can I just point out that this is like the 3rd time Sonic dies or is defeated?
What's the third? This 06 and what's the other one? Oh, Shadow if you want to count it.
Forces.
Oh,
And I guess Shadow, sure you can count that.
By the
Not
way,
to say
I
anything.
also want to say I've been slowly adding images and GIFs.
have you? To the video. I'm looking
Yeah,
at
to
the
the
Discord,
video.
I'm like, I don't see shit.
Just to the video, I've been slowly adding images and GIFs. So I was gonna put gameplay over it, but I may just upload it as is because it's pretty dumb. But
All in
anyway,
all, I think the story of the game is going to be interesting.
Yes.
And it's going to be entertaining.
I think we can agree that even if the writing is shit, even if the story is shit, I think we'd agree that we can appreciate this is the first Sonic game since 06 that has had an emphasis on story. Like Colors does not have an emphasis on story. Okay, I'll give you that since Unleashed then. Because I don't count Colors like they all have stories, all of them, but none of them have like focused stories. Like Lost World. Lost World's story just happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we move on to the next area, we have a cutscene with Eggman, that's it. Move on to the next area, Amy tells us for the 90th time the world's getting destroyed, even though we don't give a shit. Then the final boss happens.
Right.
Which is fine, but for a kid's game, but my point is that I like the older Sonic games, not because, nostalgia, but because they had actual story to them. And even though Adventure 2's story is completely bullshit, I like the fact that they put emphasis on it. Because that's my biggest gripe with a lot of video games is like Mania. I like Mania, but it's just another 2D Sonic game. There's nothing keeping me enticed to it. And I know that's that's another tangent, but story keeps people enticed in things. I'm gonna run through all those modern Sonic stages are gonna be the exact same fucking things. The only reason I'm gonna want to play them is to get to the next level and see what happens next in the story. That's my point. Like Grand Theft Auto. I don't play Grand Theft Auto to fuck around. I play Grand Theft Auto for the story, believe it or not. Because I'm engaged enough to see what happens next. And if you don't engage me, then I don't give a shit. Not like Lost World. Like, why do I care? I'm going. Good.
I think we spent a bit too much time on the story. So let's spend, now that we spent 20 minutes talking about that, let's spend 5 minutes talking about the game.
Yeah, you guys go. We'll talk about music last then.
Alright, so...
People give it way too much.
Both me and Austin...
I'm just gonna beat myself. Go for it.
You could just you can input. You've seen gameplay.
I can do what I want.
I mean, that's.
Alright, so
Tell me what to do, Mom.
both me and Austin have played the Japanese demo of Sonic Forces. I played it on PS4. You played it on the Switch. The biggest thing that I've noticed with Sonic's control in Forces as compared to, let's just compare it to Generations, because I think Generations does, the whole boost control formula, the best.
Yeah.
Sonic's acceleration is really, really fucking weird.
It is kind of weird.
I heard, real quick, I want to ask both of you. I heard the game's boost mechanics are reminiscent of, Colors.
It's very Colors. This game is. People thought it was going to be Generations 2 at reveal. It's Colors 2, honestly. Gameplay-wise, at least. It is so Colors.
Yes, I would say so. And as a matter of fact, I would say it's even more bare bones than Colors because there's no There's no wisps in modern Sonic stages. There's no drifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no drifting, which
they cut back a bit
liked
from
it.
colors. Yeah, drifting was fun. I liked it. I love doing like crazy drifting things in Generations.
If I could talk about the
So fast.
if I could talk about the acceleration again, you start off with like, you know, your regular accelerating whole Sonic thing, and when you're controlling Sonic like that, he's fine. The problem is that he reaches top speed in like 3 seconds, and when he reaches top speed,
Yeah, moving around.
he turns like a tank.
Yeah, turning him when he is at top speed is really hard. But I will give them credit.
Granted, you won't be turning modern Sonic that much, because from what I've seen from the level design, it's just straight lines.
It's not.
I guess we can get to that, but to talk about Sonic's control a little bit more. The same goes for the custom hero. The custom hero has pretty much the same exact acceleration.
The custom hero isn't as bad because the levels are more 3D, from what I've seen.
I've played Spaceport a couple times trying to do that quick time event glitch, and I've noticed that in the area when you just run straight forward and just blast through all the enemies, if you had the the burst wisp and you just plow through all the enemies, he accelerates pretty much the exact same as modern Sonic. Will his levels do seem a bit more interestingly designed than modern Sonic, just because you're not boosting through everything.
Okay.
But I want to say real quick, because this is gonna get brought up.
Right, go ahead.
The linearity thing.
Right, we may as well talk about that.
People have been flipping their shit over courses being linear, and
But
Firstly-
you're right, Unleashed.
firstly, you haven't played the whole game, and people who have said that it gets better. Secondly, linearity has been a problem since the boost formula was invented. Every single game that uses the boost formula is way more linear than anything else Sonic.
Colors isn't even a 3D Sonic game because of it.
Basically,
It's 2D with 3D transitions.
What I'll say is that yes, that rings true with Unleashed, both HD and Wii. I'm willing to excuse it though because it was the first time that they tried the boost and everything.
it
And it was a
happened-
game coming off of 06, so you know,
Yeah.
for the time, Unleashed was what it was. It was fun, whatever.
with colors.
The colors was
Does
less-
the 3D sections. It has a lot less of them, but all of them are straight lines. Basically.
yes. That
If the reason Colors gets away with not being as linear is because it is basically a 2D game. With
Yes,
3D
but-
sections.
yes,
Generations?
and I'll get to talking about Forces 2D.
Generations is the best that we've gotten, but it's still very linear.
Right.
Like
But
there
even
are
still,
like
coming off of the success from Generations, you think that they would build
you would think it is
off
a
that
step.
level design.
It is a step back again towards like Colors-esque stuff, but like people are treating it like it's a new problem. And another thing,
Right.
Another
but the thing
issue-
is, most people, ever since like even with games with like Colors and Generations, people have brought up the criticism saying that Sonic is just boost to win. You just hold right, jump occasionally, and then you just win the game. And that has not been true.
it's never been
Even
true.
with Unleashed, it has
Yeah,
not been true.
It's never been true.
This game, however,
This game is not.
this game more than ever
No, not at all.
is bringing that to pass.
Not at all.
From what I've seen,
I've
more than
watched
ever,
basically
more
the
than
entire
ever, I'm
game.
saying.
I've watched the entire game, and I'm going to tell you right now, not at all.
All right,
Do not think
fine,
that.
fair enough. This is just my. This is
I
just
know, I'm
before
just
I played
saying.
the game. I'm just saying, from what I've seen so far, more than ever, like that stereotype of
Yeah.
3D Sonic is coming
From
to
the
fruition.
press materials, I will say, yeah. Sega does not know how to market a game well.
Have they ever?
No, but this has
Mania?
been especially shown. Mania's marketing
Mania's-
is...
Mania's not a Sonic game.
It's not a
All right,
Sonic
bud.
Team game.
But all this talk about the modern stages and the Avatar stages. What about classic?
Classic Sonic, from the boss fight that we get, it's still no like retro engine Mania, it's still not like perfect.
I've heard stuff that that it controls worse than Generations.
It does not. No, it's less
Okay.
floaty than Generations.
From
It's-
what I've played of the boss stage, one thing that I did notice is that, like for example, let's say I spin dash and I jump in midair. If I don't push a direction on the control pad, then I keep going, which is how like the original classic physics were. That's
Yeah.
good.
It's still
But
very
the thing
much.
is, if I try like let's say for example I'm spin dashing to the left, if I hold right, it's like instant Sonic stops.
I will say, it's still very much them trying to It's like Sonic Team using like the 2D engine they have and trying to recreate classic Sonic.
Which
Whereas, like,
they said before, a one-to-one creation is impossible.
even though it's close, like way too close.
Maybe I think was better than like Sonic 2, but whatever.
But I mean, it is also not 1-to-1. The retro engine isn't perfect, but it's a hell of a lot closer than Sonic has ever gotten. But I will say, if there's one thing they did like spot on, it's the drop dash.
Oh yeah, drop dash is fucking awesome in Forces.
It is just as smooth, just as easy to do. It is very
Right.
good.
Yes, I agree.
I really like it. I'm not certain whose idea the drop dash was, though.
It's probably Simon Tomley.
I hope it's a Mania idea that they're including, but I could very easily see, because basically the only reason Mania exists is because of
Well, the
Forces.
developers did directly say that yes, Mania influenced design in Forces.
So I'm hoping that that's like one of the bigger things that they did. But I could see them saying, hey, we have this idea for Classic Sonic, put it in your game. Because none of Mania's levels are designed around the drop dash. You can completely forget that's a mechanic and still play with the
Yeah, and
entire
all the
game.
gameplay we've seen, I must have seen it being used like twice.
That's because no one likes the drop dash.
Oh, I adore the drop dash.
It's great for speedrunning and stuff.
Yeah, I love the drop dash, bro.
But like, it's basically barely a thing in Mania. So I could see them.
Well, in terms of level design, anyway, you can
Yeah.
use it as much as you want and abuse the level design.
yeah,
Drop dash.
but it was nothing was designed around it. So we gotta
Right.
see if the classic levels were designed around it.
But you know what? I'm kind of disappointed that is probably not in the game. Where are the elemental shields?
Yeah, it's weird. I like them.
Different timeline, different dimension. Modern universe doesn't have it. You laugh.
They
I
were
was being
in
serious.
3.
But if this is but if it's two different universes,
Again, I'm gonna say I have a theory here that the way they're handling it, because that's minor spoilers, but the way
what
they're
for Mania?
for Forces, it's very extremely minor because everyone knows
Right,
that
that-
the excuse is gonna be
that-
super bare bones for why Classic is there.
What the ending of Mania is how classic Sonic gets the forces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not even a fucking spoiler.
But I'm saying the explanation they give in Forces. Richard, do you care if I tell you because it's really pathetically weak? It like
It's-
has no bearing on the story whatsoever.
$20, you've already guessed it, Richard.
Have I already guessed it?
You'll probably.
Do you care if I say it?
I guess. Go ahead. Whatever.
They refer to him as that Sonic from another dimension.
All right. So he's not from the past anymore. He's from another dimension.
So what I'm thinking, I have a theory as to what they're doing, and this theory is that they're going to continue the classic series,
Which
with, like,
is what
Mania
I
stuff.
wanted them to do
Yes.
for such a long.
But I feel like the way
He
they're
was so
gonna
upset he cut out.
yeah, but I feel like the way they're gonna like justify it timeline wise is that there's a timeline split after 3 and Knuckles, where modern Sonic takes place where Sonic 4 happened, and anything Mania and after is Mania
The classic
timeline.
Wait. Why
Classic
don't you?
dimension, yeah.
Why don't you just say Sonic CD then?
Because 3 takes
Because
place after
Sonic CD
CD.
happened between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. There's
Yes,
no
it
proof.
did.
There's no proof of that.
Going by
What
Going
about
by what?
saying- what about
Going by
Tails
game
saying,
releases.
"See you next game, huh?"
Oh yeah, the Sonic Drift reference. Yeah, because Sonic Drift is canon.
no, going by Sonic 4.
Fuck Sonic 4.
Ah, haha.
But Sonic
Mania-
4
Mania
happens
doesn't count
immediately.
Sonic 4.
But Sonic 4, no, that's what I'm saying. That immediately after Sonic 3, there's a timeline split. Sonic Mania happens in one timeline, which is like this whole dimension where this classic Sonic in Forces comes from. But then modern Sonic and all the Sonic we've had up until this point happens in the timeline split where Sonic 4 happens right after 3 and
All I'm saying is that if Sonic Forces leads to Sonic Team, letting Christian Whitehead do whatever the fuck he wants with classic Sonic.
That would be fine.
That
That
has been my ideal direction for the series to go for a long, long time.
Have a classic series, have them like modern series.
And the thing is, back
Both-
in
both on
when
the same
when
time.
the back when Sonic 3 Remastered, that campaign was a thing. Simon Tomley said the exact same thing, that how he wanted the modern Sonic games to act on their own and the classic Sonic games to act on their own.
And
Please let this be what's happening.
considering how successful Mania was, I feel like there's a good chance that they're gonna do that.
What if Sega fires Takashi Iizuka and replaces him with Christian Whitehead?
That would
I
be-
think that'd be actually a problem.
that probably would be a problem.
You want to know why? Because then it'd just be fan games every fucking year.
Fuck yeah, bruh.
Oh yeah, alright, because I need my 90th remix of fucking Green Hill.
Well, Sonic Team's gonna do that anyway, so.
Yeah.
No, I was actually talking music. I was talking music.
Brent, keep in mind, it was Sega's idea to make Mania a rehash.
Yeah, they wanted to do their own thing. The game was, they pitched the game with Studiopolis Zone. They wanted to have it like their own original thing, but Sega was the one who had them do like old levels.
All right, so to lump it up, we're gonna go through the round table. What I think of the gameplay, I think despite its linearity, despite its somewhat weird control, I think that the gameplay in Forces is gonna be just fine. It's gonna be slightly lower in quality than Sonic Colors, nowhere near the quality of Sonic Generations, and I think that despite that, it will be a game that I'll play through once or twice, and then gladly wait for the next Sonic game.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll get back to you on how I think the game is in 4 hours when it comes out.
Wait, so are we ending it here?
No, I still have to talk about the music.
Yeah.
Wait, before we do anything. Oh, no, wait, you do your thing first, Austin. Austin,
Yeah.
do your thing, I'm sorry.
So, what I think of the gameplay is that it's gonna be a little jank. I think, again, part of that is gonna be to blame for switching to a proprietary engine and just getting the kinks out of Hedgehog Engine 2. But I think Generations is definitely still gonna be the one modern Sonic game like everyone's gonna go back to play for fun. But I think Forces is still gonna be like a perfectly fine game. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna play it a few times probably.
Alright, before we go any further, I don't really know a lot about the custom character. I don't know about his stages or anything. In the Japanese trailer, they talked about how you can unlock stuff through different missions to like customize your character. I don't give a shit about any of those costumes. I just want the soap shoes.
You're not getting them.
What do you mean I'm not getting them? Wait, what? Are they like locked behind something?
I don't know. I just have a feeling that they're not going to put them in the game.
They are in the game.
They are?
What do you mean it's a spoiler? It's in the part of the fucking picture.
I haven't seen it. Damn. All right.
Oh well, rip. Well, anyway, they're not
they're in
called
the-
soap shoes. I don't know what they're called, but
We
it's
don't know what they're called.
it's the soap shoes.
Yeah, there's a custom hero thing that's basically straight up
Fuck,
the soap shoes.
fuck the costume for Shadow and Jet and Knights and everyone else. I just want the soap shoes.
What about the Persona 5 protagonist?
Oh, you mean Persona 5? No, I'm not gay. Sorry. Or furry.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the music, and then we'll shut up and play the game in 4 hours.
Okay, I'll go first because I'm the only person that gives a shit about this. Alright, you ready? I think that I don't mind the emphasis on techno because I think that it's almost like the reversed effect of Shadow's songs from Adventure 2, and Shadow's songs were my favorite songs from Adventure 2, most of them anyway. Actually, all of them. In that Shadow's songs were very techno heavy with like grunge industrial rock behind them. if you listen to songs like Shadows Level, Final Chase, the song's called The Supernatural, there is a distorted guitar in there, but everything else is techno. So the remix for White Jungle of Shadow's song, remixed into Eggman's Facility, you almost, I mean, besides like that, you could have fooled me and said they just updated the synths, and it's not even really a remix, because that's how close the what we wanted to say, the motifs are, I guess that's a good way of saying it. The motifs of the songs. My problem is that all of Shadow's songs from Adventure 2, in addition to Shadow the Hedgehog, the soundtrack, does better is because it's guitar focused. All of okay, Sunset Heights, right? That's what it's called? Sunset Heights from Forces?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That song sounds great. I don't mind the synth. I don't mind the motif of any of the game's soundtrack of being synth heavy. But don't tell me that it would sound better, or do tell me it would sound better if that main instrument was a guitar instead of a synth, but the same exact notes, the same melody. It's more of a what could have been. Now, for some songs, like, fuck, what was it? I have to go find it now. Like, the Park Avenue, the custom hero music, they're made for techno. You know what I mean? Like, the songs are designed around the techno, which is fine. But then you get the songs, and I think Richard will agree with me on this, because I think I talked to you about this. You agree with, like, Metal Sonic's remix. I don't mind it super dubsteppy. I actually really like it super dubsteppy. My problem is there's no guitars. If you listen to the original version, that song was like the grungiest song ever, and they omitted them completely.
We still gotta wait to hear the full version of the song.
True, true, and I will,
I'm gonna be back.
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep going, and I'll give it credit. I haven't heard the full song yet. You're absolutely right. I'm going off of what I've heard.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, I'm okay with it. It's not bad, but it's not good.
Yeah.
But I think, you know what? I think that can sum up the entire game soundtrack, including Infinite's theme, which I love, as well as Fist Bump. It's good. I think it's up there with some of the best, like Adventure, in my opinion, Adventure 2. It's up there. It's up there with Heroes. It's up there with Generations Remix. I think it's good. Yeah. It could be way better.
Yeah, there's definitely some potential that, from what we've heard so far, has not been hit. But it's still a Sonic game.
Right.
You can almost anytime there is a main series Sonic game, you are guaranteed to find at least one song in there that you like. That's the one thing. Sega, sure, they might have issues. Sonic Team can be inconsistent as hell, but Sega's sound team knows what they're doing. It is still good.
And the one thing I think when people say they don't like the techno influence that I can agree with is it comes out of nowhere. I was talking to you about this off recording, is that, you know, like, Lost World had more an emphasis on electro and orchestra.
Yeah, Lost World was very orchestra. It was very orchestra.
It had a lot of guitars, it did, but not nearly as enough as Unleashed or Colors. Colors was very techno. Yeah. It's just like it comes out of nowhere because with music, you associate rock with Sonic, with the occasional orchestra and techno techno's always been a part of Sonic, but it's never been the main focus. And it's not just like, oh hey, there's some techno songs in here. It's like, hey, everything is techno.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely an interesting change in sound for the series. I hope they don't stick with it, but for one game, I hope they go. Like, because they've already shown they're going really far with it. I hope they go all the way and make it great with, like, everything we haven't heard. But I do miss a lot of, like, the rock stuff, and I'm happy that, like, Fist Bump is basically not Crush 40.
Yeah.
Even though Fist Bump should have totally been done by Crush 40. Like, no, nothing against Hoobastank or anything like that. It's still fantastic as it is. But it almost sounds like it was written to be performed by Crush 40.
Not only that, but I think I said this, that when I first heard Fist Bump, the opening lines sound like John.
They do, yeah.
Like, I actually thought it was him originally, and then at the bottom left on the Sonic page, it said, like, performed by whoever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
It is such a shame that there is no Crush 40 song. Like, that is the biggest missed opportunity. They finally bring back, like, all kinds of crazy lyrical themes, But
And
the
Jun
one
Tsunoi's
thing-
in it. Jun Tsunoi
Yeah.
plays guitar on almost every track that has a
But
guitar.
Yes, he does.
But there isn't a single Crush 40 song that we've heard, and
Which-
that is so sad.
Blows my mind because
Yeah.
this game would have fit perfectly with Crush 40.
Crush 40 and Sonic go hand in hand, and it's been so long since we've gotten one. Was it
And
the
you know
last one? Like,
Black Knight.
Black
Live,
Knight, yeah.
Live Life, yeah. Which is actually my favorite song. Fight me.
Live Life is great.
Neither one.
But without a doubt, one of the things I have to say is I wouldn't mind so much if it wasn't Crush 40, if the music didn't go back to Crush 40 style. If you've listened to the second verse of Fist Bump, it sounds like an Evanescence song from 2000.
Yeah,
which
they
is
went-
exactly
A lot of the soundtrack sounds like every song from 2000.
For the
that's
main
point.
theme especially, though, they went so back to that, like, grungy early 2000s rock.
Right,
And
so why
not having
use it?
Crush
Theme is
40.
hilarious.
Not having Crush 40 is such a shame. But we all know that the next time Crush like they do one of those things that they do occasionally, those like albums that release, there's gonna be a Crush 40 version of probably both Fist Bump and Infinite's theme. They've done
Yeah.
it for like, they did it
At
for
least
Black
Fist
Knight,
Bump.
they did it for
Fist bump, like yeah, they gotta do it eventually.
Now, what's your take on the entire soundtrack, Richard? Austin basically disagreed with me.
Okay, my takeaway from the soundtrack is that it's fine. Its melodies are fine. It's just that some of the techno synth gets a little bit ear grating after a while. I love the orchestral themes that the game has in all of its menus, like the level select theme,
Oh, those are pretty
and the
great,
title
yeah.
screen music, especially the title screen music. The title screen music, I can't believe that's the title screen music for a Sonic game.
Have you heard the world map theme for Speed Battle? The orchestral version of Fist Bump?
Yeah,
But dude, that song's great. By the way, I like that picture.
this is fun. That song, this is fun.
It's a chili dog. Too. I just noticed that. But no, yeah, I love I love that orchestral theme. I just hate how Sonic teams teaching it like they're treating it as like the first time they did it. Did you see that behind the scenes where they're going like talking about all the orchestral
Yeah,
stuff?
when they were in the it was all recorded by the London.
They're like, this is the biggest thing they've ever done. I'm like, well, Adventure 2 had like one orchestral theme. You know, and then Heroes' orchestral theme is just a bunch of violins going crazy with Malith Madness.
Which was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Lost World,
Lost World had so much
Unleash,
orchestra.
Colors, you know.
They've done
Yeah,
orchestra.
but the thing is, that's only like 2 or 3 themes out of like the entire soundtrack that has orchestra.
Lost
Most of the
World was
soundtrack-
very orchestrated.
Oh yeah, my I say Forces, yeah, Lost World.
Yeah, I'm talking about Forces. But most of the rest of Forces' soundtrack is just autotune, and especially when we first got gameplay of Classic Sonic Green Hill.
Is wrong.
Green Hill, I could not believe that they went back to Sonic 4 levels of synth. Like
It's
the
not that
The
bad.
melodies are
It's
fine.
not
I
that
like the
bad.
melodies. Melodies are fine in the classic stages. It's just the instrumentation is ear
I
grating.
really like the way the classic stages sound. They improved. I think even the song that they showed in that trailer, I think they actually improved. They sound as close to Genesis as we've gotten.
I agree with Green Hill, but
I think Casino Forest sounds way better than Green Hill. That I'll
Yeah.
agree with.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
it actually sounds like Genesis instrument.
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure it is basically. Like that drum sample. That drum sample is literally just sounds Genesis.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, all the other Sonic games that have tried to mimic the classics music have gotten the drums down pat. So that doesn't impress me as much.
Okay. Cool. Alright, well, before we end this off, then, there's one thing we have to talk about that I just thought about now. Because I know, Richard, you were talking about this in passing.
What?
The voice acting for English. A lot of people were bitching about the voice acting. I think that Roger Craig Smith as Sonic does a very good. It just goes back into the story. Does a very good happy-go-lucky.
He does a
He
very
doesn't
good
do-
sarcastic accent.
He doesn't do stress well. Like I
Yeah,
can't see
I'll
him
say
doing.
that.
I can't see
I'll
him
agree
doing
with
the
you
scene
there.
that's on like equal level of that the almost dying in Adventure 2 with the Chaos Control. I can't see him doing something at that serious a level.
Not
Maybe
very
it's-
well, at least.
Well, okay, you know what? We did see something that's serious with Metal Tails, and it was terrible. But granted, that just wasn't written well, to be honest.
He was just indifferent at the entire thing. He was like, I'm getting real tired of you guys.
And I get it. You know, there comes a point where there's a difference between a bad writer and a bad actor. You can have an amazing actor, but a shitty script, and they can't do anything about it.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
I want to discuss a point real quick, and then we can go back to that.
Fine.
Something I just noticed. So, in the Discord, and I have it up on the screen right now, is the official, like, basically the box art, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You notice anything weird about the box art?
Metal's on it.
No, not that. That's not what I'm talking about.
There's like a roller coaster in the back.
Fuck, the Void Wisp one.
No, that's not what I'm talking about either.
The,
Think back to every other time we've seen the custom hero. Specifically
green.
that design. Why is he green now?
No, that's the wolf design.
no, the wolf design's red.
Yeah, no, in everything, in the trailers, in every other way we've seen that exact same design, he has been red. Why is he green now?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway.
I just needed to bring that up because I just noticed that and it bothers
Is that
me.
like a North American difference thing? Is that like a color difference, or is that just?
No,
That's
most
just on
of the
every box.
North American
just on
promotional
the
material,
box.
we've seen him red.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's been red everywhere.
I guess it's just showing off that you can have them different colors if you want.
It's weird. It's
But
weird.
I know that Richard, you're complaining about Shadow's Greg. What's his Kirk Thornton?
Yeah, Kirk Thornton and Suri
Okay.
still sucks.
I didn't like him in the 3 lines he had in Generations.
He sounds better during. He sounded better at least during the Twitter takeover. He sounded better.
he didn't.
Better than you got this, Sonic.
Yeah, but he
Better
sounds
than
the
me.
exact same as he did in the Boom cartoon.
He's
which is-
still no Jason Griffith.
Yeah, this is. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I prefer Jason Griffith's Shadow.
I prefer SA2 and Heroes' Shadow.
Oh
Yeah, he's
the idea,
better,
but
yeah.
David Humphrey doesn't really exist in this realm anymore.
Actually, you know what? Someone prolong this conversation. I want to go see what he's doing. What is his name again? David Humphrey?
Yeah, David Humphrey.
But yeah, it's Shadow. I feel like he's passable, but he's
No,
not
no, no, no.
amazing.
Actually, no. It just came to me. It just came to me. Wanna know what I can't wait to hear?
What?
Omega's voice actor.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Because the thing about Heroes is that even though it was a different sound team and different recording team, I swear to God, it sounds the exact same in Heroes as it does in Shadow the Hedgehog. But then in 06, it sounds completely different.
No, that's a different thing because from I can't remember which one it is, but I think it was after Shadow. Omega's voice actor switched to a woman with like heavy
Really?
editing. I'm
Yeah,
gonna put her
right.
behind the voice actor right now.
If I remember correctly, Gamma's voice actor did Omega. If I remember. I could be completely wrong.
But Austin, while you're researching this, can you tell me if Omega, after 06, has had any other voice acting?
I don't think he has.
Voice.
I can tell you that right now.
Yeah,
I
because
think
I'm thinking he
06
wasn't,
is
he
his
wasn't in
last
Free
appearance.
Riders. He probably doesn't have
Yeah.
any lines in any of
Okay,
the mobile
no.
games.
Yeah, so what it is, he did have a voice in Colors DS.
Did
That's
he?
it. Because he showed up for the cameo and they had like voice lines.
Oh yeah, like 2 or 3
Just
voice
hear it
lines
on
for
the
him.
thing
Yeah.
for a second.
Okay, well apparently
It's been years since I played
So,
Colors DS.
The reason, so I will tell you right now. So in Heroes, he was John St. John. That's who did
Right.
him in Heroes. It was Jeff Kramer in Shadow.
Whoever he is.
But then for 06, what they did was they changed to Maddie Blaustein? I don't know exactly. I'm butchering
knows?
it. But what they did is I will play the voices like I'll play Jeff Kramer on the stream real quick. Oh, recording.
it's a good thing I don't get to hear it.
Yeah, you don't get to hear it on the video. And then I'll play Maddie Blaustein.
System reactivation count.
What they
Well, I
did
already-
was they made his voice way higher pitched than how it was originally.
Right,
With John St.
because
John.
ideally, I'd rather
Sensors locked on.
have them stick to Heroes and Shadows portrayal.
Well, no, Heroes did the same thing. Not Heroes. Shadow started the high pitched Omega 06 was the peak of it, and in Colors DS, he's back to sounding basically the way he did in Heroes. So I'm gonna guess hopefully he sounds Heroes-esque and not 06-esque.
But Austin, I know what you really want. You want Metal Sonic to talk again, but he's not going to because Heroes isn't canon.
Heroes is
What about
canon,
the OVA?
What is not canon about Heroes? What?
Metal Sonic's voice, duh. And what about
Neo?
What about Omega and Shadow taking Metal Sonic away after? What happened to that? Right? What happened to that?
It was off screen because it was too violent. Insert Shadow the Hedgehog. Okay,
Alright,
so real quick. You wanted to know what happened to Jason Griffith. Or not Jason Griffith, David Humphrey.
Right.
He was in a television series called Press Start Adventures from 2006 to 11, as well as 2007 to 10. It's some side series. And he was in a film called Press Start to Continue in 2011. That's the last thing he did.
Huh.
So he's not really a voice actor, okay.
Well, he was in a film. As far as I can tell, that he wasn't a voice actor for those, unless I can be wrong.
Alright, round table, final opinions before we play Forces. I think it will be fine. Very flawed, but fine. Enough to play through once, maybe twice, 3 times. But after that, wait for the next Sonic game, business as usual.
I like Adventure 1 too, so I'm okay with flawed as long as the story is enticing and the music and aesthetics are good.
I think it's gonna be a solid game with some growing pains with the new engine, which is kind of standard. Sonic games have never been perfect. It's not gonna be a 10 out of 10. It'd be great if it's like a 9 out of 10, but I'm expecting like a 7.
It's not going to be an 8 out of 10.
Maybe even 8 or 6.
Oh, excuse me. It's not going to be even close to an 8 out of 10 because IGN and the rest of the Polygon and the rest of them
I'm
have
saying
their,
in my opinion. I'm not
their
talking
dicks
about
each other's
them.
ass and can't see it for what
I'm
it's
not
worth.
talking about their opinion. Their opinion is wrong.
Oh, I know. I'm saying I'm bringing it up because I want to. Fuck IGN and Polygon.
Yeah. I don't
Mostly
like
IGN.
either of them.
Yeah, mostly IGN.
Yeah,
Sonic was never
Polygon's
good.
just
What did they give Mania?
No, Sonic was never good. What did they give Boom, Fire, and Ice?
Oh yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think the game is gonna be perfectly fine. It's not gonna be Generations, but I say around the same level as Colors.
But we will find that out in just a few short hours. Cut to our impressions now!
We're not gonna cut.
We're not gonna cut.
I thought I was just gonna end post this as is, and then
Oh no, I thought we were gonna
I clarified this before we started too.
Well, fine. Click the next link to our impressions video now.
Goodbye.